Yo, what is up YouTube? Evolution here, back with another PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 JB information video here on the channel. So before we get started with today's video, make sure you guys comment down below on what PlayStation 4 and 5 firmware version you are currently sitting at right now. So we do have some news that I wanted to share with you guys today about a potential kernel bug, and the name of it is called Celsius, according to Dr. Yen. He also said it works up to 13.04 on PS4 and 12.70 on the PlayStation 5. So 13.50 is out of luck with this one. But Earthionian said there is a bug discovered by ballers by diffing PS4 kernels in the FFS mount function, which is an integer overflow that causes a heap overflow. And then down below, he's basically saying that it could work, it may not work. And Dr. Yen says up to 13.04 as well, that it will work. So he said there's a kernel bug that's been posted around a bit and it's difficult to deal with. And he said, don't ETA when, don't ask in the servers about who and when will work on it, don't annoy people. Then he says here on Discord, I've already tested it a bit and it has been named Celsius. And he's basically explaining what version that it works up to. And he says here that it was patched on 13.50 on the PS4 and 13.0 on the PlayStation 5. Anything higher than those two firmwares, it does not work. And he also said it's not Gazine's bug, by the way. It requires a USB 3.0 250 gigabyte or above drive to trigger via extended storage. 250 gigabyte drives aren't all made the same, so an actual recommendation for users is to get a 320 or 500 gigabyte USB stick to avoid issues, or take your chance with a 250 gigabyte drives. And I mean get only when it gets announced as working. So this kernel bug is already available to the public. Anybody can literally work on it. And if they end up getting this kernel bug to fully work, they will let us know which USB gigabyte size to get. So let's break down the Celsius kernel bug, okay? Let's see how it all works. The Celsius kernel bug targets the console's file system handler, specifically a flaw in the FreeBSD-based kernel's FFS mount function. The core flaw, the integer overflow. When you attempt to mount a file system like an external storage drive, the console calculates how much memory it needs to allocate for the operation. Because of a bug in FS mount, providing specifically manipulated metadata causes an integer overflow. The calculation wraps around, making the system believe it needs a tiny fraction of memory instead of a large amount. Number two, the result, the heap overflow. The console allocates an undersized buffer on the kernel heap when it actually reads and copies the file system data. It copies the full amount into that tiny memory block. This causes data to overflow out of its boundary, overwriting surrounding data on the kernel heap. Then after that, we have the trigger. This is how you trigger the bug on the PlayStation 4 or 5. Currently, the bug is not fully automated. It relies on a hardware-based timing window. Users must connect a USB 3.0 extended storage drive to the console at a highly precise microsecond window to catch the kernel in the exact state required to bypass memory protections. So let's say this was chained with BDJ being the user LAN, because you have to have a user LAN and a kernel bug. You have to chain them together. Once you have a full chain going, you have to do so much work to get it fully working. But this right here is absolutely insane. You have to get the timing down, because if you don't, then the memory protections aren't going to be bypassed. So that's how this kernel bug works. Now here's the thing about this. If you have a USB stick that is 3.0 or later, and you have something that's under 250 gigabytes, it won't work. Smaller USB thumb drives will simply trigger a console error and won't launch the target process. That's why it has to be 250 gigabytes or higher. It can't not be anything lower. Early developer testing reveals that not all 250 gigabyte or 256 gigabyte drives behave exactly the same way during timing sequences. Some developers recommend using a 320 or 500 gigabyte external drive. That way it's stable and it has stable behavior, okay? Potential changes. Because this bug is still in its proof of concept stage, future public implementations might find a restore method or a different workaround to bypass the 250 gigabyte limit, similar to past bugs. So what userland bugs do we have right now that we can chain with the Celsius kernel bug? We got BDJ. We also got View After Free with the PlayStation View app. And we just need a USB stick to trigger the kernel bug. Now, if it doesn't work in a precise timed manner, it won't trigger it. And it won't bypass the memory protections. So that's how this kernel bug works. I've never seen something like this in my life. Not one time. So this is the first time me covering something like this. So absolutely insane. Hopefully this does turn into a full JB in the future. You guys have any questions you want to ask me? Comment down below and make sure you leave a like. Share it with your friends and family, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. All right, I'm gonna keep y'all posted on some JB information videos when it does come to me, and I'll be back with another one, man. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Peace out.